Some of my favorite moments at the NASPA conferences have been in association with colleagues attending some of the amazing keynote presentations that have been developed. One that comes to mind specifically was Maya Angelou, and she actually recited some of her own poetry. So being in the presence of a genius like Maya, listening to her speak from the heart about her experiences really was very compelling for me and all that my associates. One of the things I think is most useful about NASPA is getting a national perspective on what's happening in the student affairs profession. And some of the top thinkers in the nation are represented in NASPA, and the level of discussion I always find, be it in the sessions or casually with colleagues and having conversations, is always something that's very much value added. I guess my greatest recommendation would be to go beyond your comfort zone. So I would recommend going not only to sessions that feed your professional interest, but also go into some that are different, that might just give you a broader understanding of things that are happening in the greater student affairs world.
I was enough for 2 years. After that, I currently serve as a GAP, which stands for Graduate Associate Program for Colorado State. And I'm also going to be interning at the annual conference this year in Indianapolis, and I will be the NUF intern. I attended my first NASPA Annual Conference in 2014 in Baltimore. At the time, I was a NUF, and I was able to attend both the annual conference and the NUF pre-conference for undergraduate students. At both conferences, I was able to meet lots of different people and make really meaningful connections. At the time, I was still an undergrad, wanting to just learn more about student affairs and getting connected to more people and learning about different functional areas. So it was a really great opportunity for me to network with folks and also just learn more just about the field of student affairs, to get connected to as many people as possible. Look into the sessions beforehand because there's so many offered that it can just be a little bit overwhelming. When I attended the conference for the first time, I remember before going to NASPA, I was really nervous because this was my first time really learning about NASPA, the organization, student affairs. But I was really looking forward to just learning about student affairs, having the opportunity to meet other undergraduate students through the NEF pre-conference, and having the opportunity to go to different sessions regarding different topics in student affairs. I wasn't even expecting to network as much as I did, but it was really great because when I attended the NASPA conference in 2015, there were people that I met from 2014 conference, and it was really exciting to be able to see those connections that I made.
I've been in the field of student affairs for about 6 years now. I've held positions in housing and residence life before this at a couple different institutions. I'm at a large state research institution now, but I've been in a small private liberal arts college and also a medium-sized mission-based institution. So I've got a little bit of kind of broad experience there. Kind of those personal connections that you get at a NASPA conference, even though it is kind of a large group of people, you still have those personal connections that I think are just special. And as my professional network grows, as I kind of stay in the profession a little bit longer, I'm also looking forward to reconnecting with colleagues I haven't seen in a while and talking to them and kind of getting their perspective on what's going on in their institutions, that sort of thing. I think my best piece of advice is just to take a breath. The NASPA conference can be really overwhelming the first time you're there. There's thousands of fellow student affairs professionals and lots of really great presentations and speeches and talks available to you. So it can be really easy to feel overwhelmed pretty quickly. So I think there's nothing wrong with taking it a little slow, taking some time for yourself. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're taking full advantage of the NASPA conference and all it has to offer. I think self-care is actually very important in our field in general, but also at the NASPA conference.
As a graduate student with lots of different interests, I was able to attend presentations on everything. Everything was just fantastic, and I couldn't have asked for a better educational experience. I would also say to check out the knowledge communities before the conference. A lot of knowledge communities will have receptions before and meetings during. So if you are interested in a specific field of student affairs, definitely check out those KCs and meet up with them at the conference. My advice to first-time attendees would definitely be to get business cards beforehand. When you're networking with professionals and other graduates, you'll want to have those on hand so that they can keep in contact with you. And make sure during the conference you get their business cards as well. I've stayed in contact with so many different professionals and graduate students that I met at my very first NASPA conference, and they've helped me so much during the job search process, and they've really been my mentors and my rock as I navigate through my student affairs career. I also, after my very first NASPA conference, I was able to apply and become a NASPA graduate associate in the NASPA GAP program, and that's really allowed me to work on my event planning skills, marketing, communication, and I just really get to talk about how great student affairs is to other student affairs people. And I get to talk about how NASPA has helped me professionally, educationally, with everything along the way. And so I think my first NASPA experience was a huge, huge success. And I hope that the experience is just as great for you.